yard and area here was once part of Colonel George Watson's 18th century colonial estate, and he was Plymouth's wealthiest merchant in the 18th century. And in addition to being Plymouth's wealthiest merchant, he was also a slave owner, and we do know he owned at least 2 slaves, Cuffy and Isak, 2 men who were probably from the Ghana region of Africa, given their names. And we think this little structure back here is very clearly of 18th century construction, and its dimensions resemble those of some excavated houses in Parting Ways in Plymouth, which is one of our known African-American settlement sites. And it does reflect the buildings from West African tradition. So we're not positive about that, but it could be that this little structure was African-American construction. Could be that Cuffy and Isak, who we know lived here on this, exactly where we are now, may have sheltered there, at least seasonally, and we are hoping to find some kind of material culture evidence under the ground and also with the building itself that may help us confirm that. It's our first day on the site, and we want to start inside the building. And so the excavation actually starts not with the ground, but with the layers of flooring that have been put inside the little structure over time. So we had a layer of 1950s linoleum, and underneath that a layer of the Boston Herald from 1952, which was very nicely dated for us. And then beneath that are tongue and groove white pine painted floorboards, again probably from the 50s generation. And we're just taking that up and getting to the subflooring, which we don't think goes back to the earliest period of the house, but we'll take a look at that more closely when those boards come up. And then below that are going to be the joists and finally the earth. And when we start digging into the ground, I think that's where we're going to find, hopefully, some of that material that's going to answer some of our questions. This is a wonderful collaboration. The property is owned by the Plymouth Guild, which operates the wonderful Plymouth Center for the Arts here on the street. And we have partnered with them. Their world is the world of arts, and they do wonderful exhibits and arts programming. And my organization, the Plymouth Antiquarian Society, specializes in historic preservation and the history of Plymouth after the Pilgrim era here in Plymouth. So we've partnered together on this project. We're supervising the preservation work and working with them on the archaeological work. And all of this has been funded very wonderfully by the Town of Plymouth Community Preservation Fund. We got a great grant from that. And we're partnering with other local folks. Craig Chartier has come in from the Plymouth Archaeological Rediscovery Project that he runs, and he'll be doing the archaeological work for us. And we also have a group of local volunteers who we're going to be bringing in, some folks to help us with digging and sifting, which if anybody wants to come join us, just give me an email and we'd be happy to have you sign up. And also we're hoping we might collaborate with another group. The Woodchucks of Plymouth have offered maybe some help in building a replacement for this building, which the Art Center and previous owners had used as a tool shed. So we need a tool shed now. This is going to become a wonderful exhibit, hopefully of African-American history and 18th century history here in Plymouth, that will be open and available to anybody strolling through the downtown.